Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show called Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com. My website is teamchicago.tv. I'm at Kerstings, Harley-Davidson, and Yamaha. We're in Winamac, Indiana, off of Indiana 39, just 4 miles south of North Judson, Indiana. Big party, 60 years since Jim opened his first shop. He's a great friend of mine. I knew him from ice racing. I'm going to show you some ice race footage. I know him from, he let me ride in some real classic motorcycles out here. They got a stunt show. They got a car show, motorcycle custom show. It's a great event. So let's check out what took place at Kerstings, Harley-Davidson, and Yamaha in Winamac, Indiana. And don't forget my email is teamdan45@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear from my audience. I am very fortunate that I do read most of my emails. When I spotted the email about the Kerstings 60th party, I knew I had to come. Winamac, Indiana for the 60th anniversary party. Nearly every motorhead, motorcycle owner in Northwest Central Indiana made sure they came out to see and participate in the Kerstings 60th party. And one of the things they featured was this Harley-Davidson stunt show. This is C.J. Barnum and Junkyard Kenny, and they're riding full-size Harley-Davidsons. These are 1320 motors, and they will show you how great they ride. They are also celebrating 60 years. Harley-Davidson dealership, Kerstings Cycle Center, Harley-Davidson, and Yamaha. Let's check this out.
Smells good.
both CJ Barnum and Junkyard Kenny destroy their rear tires for the entertainment of the crowd. I had a chance to talk to these two riders after the show.
CJ Barham out here at currently Harley-Davidson doing a stunt show for Polen. Out here with Junkyard Kenny. We just ride Harleys professionally, stunt Harleys, do wheelies and burnouts. And you can find me at cjbarham.com.
Okay, and your partner?
Junkyard Kenny. You can find him at Instagram, Junkyard Kenny.
Junkyard Kenny from St. Louis, Missouri, and I ride motorcycles because I love stunt riding. I love everything about the bikes, and you can check me out at Junkyard Kenny Stunts at on Instagram, even on Junkyard Kenny on Facebook, or Kenny Edwards on Facebook.
Thank you, gentlemen. As we look at some of the cars in the custom car shows, they have a custom car show, a custom bike show, hot rod show. They're giving out trophies. I'm going to head inside the Harley-Davidson showroom. 60 years. Kersting's celebrating 60 years of being in business. Jim and his wife Nella started his business in 1962. He was a great friend of mine. Both of them were. I miss both of them all the time. As we look through the parts department at the dealership, and we'll look in the main showroom, I'm walking around looking for their third child, Jason, and we're going to see Jason and his daughter, Katie, and they're going to tell us about putting this show together. Stunt riders, car show, motorcycle show, 5 bands.
Hi, I'm Jason Kersting. I'm one of the owners here at Kersting Cycle Center. We've been in business now since 1962. I've only been here for 35 years myself. Mom and Dad started the business, and now my daughter Katie, Polen, is now in the business, and she's the one that's putting things together nowadays.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun, and they're kind of letting me do my thing now, so it's been really fun. I've been here for the last 8 years, and I do a little bit of everything around here, just like my dad.
So, did you organize the party? Are you the one? You're the one behind the party.
Yes. So my husband and I put everything together. The car and bike show is kind of his thing, and then we decided to get the stunt riders out here, and of course had to add food to the whole thing. So yeah, we just put all this together, and it really came together great, I think.
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
4 live bands in a little bit. It's going to start about 5 o'clock. Let's see what else is going on out there. We got beer garden. We got the little training tots, the A-Baits here with the training bikes to run the bikes around the little guys. We got Ride Safe Indiana out front doing a display of their bike on the rollers so you can get used to shifting. There's several other vendors here today, and we're just out to have a big time on our 60th anniversary.
Yeah, we're having a great time.
So what's the future like?
Hopefully another 60 years.
With more grandkids and grandkids after that, huh?
Yeah, Poppy's here. Katie's daughter Poppy's here about every day. We haven't really turned her loose on anything yet, but she won't be long.
Yep, she's getting ready.
Thank you, Jason and Katie. And now, a bait of Indiana, the riders that organized to promote motorcycle riding and safety. They set up this little track for youngsters to get used to riding motorcycles, shifting, braking. These youngsters are having a great time. I wonder if they ever stop riding, if they ever get tired. As we take a look at the bikes that are entered, they had a few different classes for motorcycles and for cars, and they had best in show, but I didn't get the results for that competition. I should have brought my Trackmaster Triumph.
People's Choice Award.
As we check out this paint job, guy that owns this bike must be a big truck driver.
Just go over there and vote for
He's got a beautiful paint job, a great set of wheels, a nice looking Harley-Davidson. That's one thing about motorcyclists. Everybody tries to make their bike look individual. There's a old school chopper, extended forks, nice chrome, nice paint job, 21-inch front wheel. And here's another chopper some youngster put together. Got a small engine, rigid tail, nice paint. A lot of interest in Northwest Indiana. Now we're looking at a few of the hot rods. This here looks like a 32 Ford. Well, one thing I learned coming down to Kerstings over the years, the 32 Ford had a different grill than even the 34 Ford. A good line of pickup trucks, great vehicles, people that really care about the internal combustion engine, great looking hot rods, great looking custom cars. There's a nice looking Ford Tudor, short block engine, another Ford pickup, a great variety of hot rods, custom cars, people that really care about what they drive and what they own. And then I spot this beautiful 1956 Chevy short block engine. This engine compartment looks great. I had a 57 Chevy, and as I look back, now I come to think that the 56 Chevy may be a better looking car. And the way you can tell a 56 from a 55 is that back wheel well. This is a great looking car and a chance to talk to the owner. So let's go talk to Alan right now, and he's going to tell us how he finished this car up and made it so beautiful.
Del Allen from Portage, Indiana, and we're out here at Kerstings today for a car show. Figured it'd be a good day to come on out. Our season's winding down, and come out, have some fun, meet people, and just have a good time.
So tell me about your car.
It's a 56 Chevy. I've had it 5 years now. It's got a small block Chevy in it. Put a Tremec 5-speed in it. It's got a 9-inch 4 in it, 411 gears. Power steering, power brakes, all the goodies. Wipers work. No washers. Don't try to drive it in the rain unless I get stuck in the rain. It's a driver. I drive it to Kentucky twice a year for 2 big shows that they have, and just get out and enjoy it.
So when you got it, you said the body was already done, so you
Correct.
did the rest.
Correct. When I bought it, it was it had a smog mosquito killer 350 in it. Body was done, paint was done, half the interior was done. I finished the other half of the interior. Put a different small block in it, put the Tremec 5-speed in the rear end. And,
looks great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Del. And as I swing the camera, looking at some more of these beautiful cars, nice looking pickup trucks. There's a good looking Mustang, and now I spot a pretty special car. Now you gotta remember, I grew up in the era of the 60s. This is a Ford Fairlane 500 Thunderbolt. You got to remember, back in that era, the major manufacturers were getting involved with racing. They were racing with NASCAR, and then they would stop racing. They were doing some drag racing, and then they were making special cars that could be sold to drag race. The Thunderbolt is one of those cars. Just like the Oldsmobiles were selling 442s that came with special kits. This is a car that came with the special 4-barrel carburetors, 2 4-barrel carburetors, and this air induction system that was built by the factory. This was a limited amount of these cars were sold that came with fiberglass fenders. Some of the Chevys had aluminum fenders. This one here looks like it has an aluminum front bumper. I am very interested in these race cars that were sold to the public. You can see it's got a simple interior, a nice Hirsch shifter, like I had in my '63 Chevy. And I had a chance to talk to the owner, Phil Johanna. He's going to tell us all about this Thunderbolt.
Yeah, my name's Phil Johannan. I live over here by Bass Lake, Indiana, and I'd like to tell you something about my car that I built about 13 years ago, okay? I couldn't afford to buy an original Thunderbolt, so I built one just like an original Thunderbolt, but it's a recreation. 64 Fairlane 500, fiberglass front end, fenders, front balance, and hood and deck lid are all fiberglass. The car has a 427 medium rise 2 4-barrel, and it has a top loader 4-speed, and the rear end's a 411 Detroit locker. The car is as close to an original Thunderbolt as possible. I built it like Dick Brennan's #1 Thunderbolt, and it's pretty close. There's a few things that's a little different, but under the hood I'm using MSD ignition and stuff, and I feel that that's really makes the car run good and look good too. So.
Thank you, Phil. As we see some of the literature in his trunk, and you can see this trunk is very simple. The battery is in the trunk for weight distribution. This is a very lovely car. If this was an original Thunderbolt, it'd be worth between $200,000 and $300,000. Phil mentioned that he spent about $80,000 putting this together. What a tribute to a great era, what a tribute to the Ford Motor Company back when they were real enthusiasts. Nowadays, you gotta wonder about these major manufacturers. But it's so great to be able to talk to a couple of these car enthusiasts as we see the simple interior one more time. Up front, it's got a set of American mags, which are the proper wheels at that time. And just a simple wheels at the back. This is a very lovely car. And now we're going back in the museum one more time, taking a look at some of the bicycles, mopeds, Japanese motorcycles. You get to see all this great motorcycle memorabilia, pictures, artwork, models. What a collection of great stuff. This is a wonderful museum, and I highly encourage everybody to come and see the World of Motorcycle Museum. And now we're looking at a MotoGuzzi Falcone, which is a single-cylinder 500cc Italian motorcycle. I could tell you a story about Tirolo Taki's dad, who had a bike just like this. And during the war, or before the war, Mussolini started confiscating, like the fascist he was, from the citizens, their property. So Tirolo Taki's dad buried his motorcycle in Italy, and when he came to America, he went back, unburied his motorcycle, brought it to the USA, and put it together. And back in 1997, Jim Kersting invited Kris Tiger-Lady from Open Road Radio and me to ride some of his motorcycles.
Okay, this is going to be a one kicker now. You get the combination right. Release to compression.
Single for a ride down the road in front of his motorcycle shop. And now Kris Tiger-Lady, who's one of the hosts on Open Road Radio. She came out here to ride these old bikes, and she's riding the MotoGuzzi, and she said she had a great time. She absolutely loved riding this bike. So listen to this. Single cylinder, unique motorcycle. She's loving it. Exposed valve springs, single cylinder with an exposed flywheel. That's why they call this thing the salami slicer. And then I had a chance to take this bike out with the helmet cam. You can see what it's like to ride. It's 1946 MotoGuzzi single cylinder. And I'll tell you, this was really a fast bike. This thing would definitely do 80, 90 miles an hour. This was really a cream puff to ride. Yeah, this is really a great bike. It's got a girder front fork, and it's got a unique suspension with 2 springs mounted underneath the chassis. And as I back this thing in,
I've had many wonderful years riding great motorcycles right here with Jim Kersting, the late great Jim Kersting. For more information on the World of Motorcycle Museum and Kersting Cycle Center, it's KerstingCycles.com. KerstingCycles.com, 4 miles south of North Judson, Indiana, on Indiana 39. This was such a big event, I decided to do 3 episodes, so check out all 3 episodes. And remember, to contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. I love to hear from my audience. Remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum, Winamac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson on Indiana Route 39. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles.